Hi, I'm Miss Truex, and I'm here to help you learn about the research paper process. After this video, you will be able to avoid plagiarism in your papers, vary your sources, and be able to follow MLA format. First, you need to know what plagiarism is. Plagiarism is taking another's work, ideas, or creations and passing them off as your own work. There's several ways to avoid this. The first is to paraphrase your work. Simply put the information you found into your own words. Make sure not to use more than 2 words in a row. This is when it becomes a quote. That brings us to quoting. Put the quote exactly the way it was said in quotation marks and attribute it to its author or speaker. Include the page or paragraph number at all times. Another important thing to know about is self-plagiarism. This is a thing. If you're using your own work from a previous class or time, you need to cite the same way you would any normal source. Since you've used this work before, you must cite it. An example is using an old project you've done for a new assignment. One of the biggest ways to avoid plagiarism is to cite your sources. To do that, you will use MLA format. MLA stands for Modern Language Association, and it's used for papers and citing sources for liberal arts and humanities. A fun tip is to use primary sources in your papers. These were written at the time of the event, like newspapers, ads, and a great example is the Declaration of Independence. They really help bring real life into your papers. Now, I can't teach you everything about MLA, as there are full books on the topic, but I'll tell you what you need to know. Another great source to learn about this is the Purdue OWL. Check that out online. For MLA, double space and use 12-point font for your papers. Use only 1 space after punctuation and always use 1-inch margins. Also, always indent the first line of your paragraph 1/2 inch from your margin. The main point of MLA is to attribute material and cite sources. It really helps boost your credibility. To do this, include a works cited page at the end of every paper. For each source in this works cited page, use a hanging indent. This is simply indenting all lines of your citation except for the first line. You need to include basic materials such as author's name, publisher, title, date published, date accessed, page numbers, and source types in each citation. Lastly, make sure you don't rely too heavily on one source alone. This means using several sources for your papers and using relatively equal information from each source. Now, for the review portion of this video, I would like you to imagine that you're an English professor at a university. Complete the activities that follow using this persona and all the information you know. Act as though you are reviewing a student's paper or interacting with your students. This will really help you apply and bring real life into your work. You're looking at a paper and you see some things in a citation you don't think should be there. Take this list on the screen and make a column of things that should and shouldn't be there, and put each word into one or the other columns. For your second activity, a student comes up to you after class and asks you some questions. What's the purpose of MLA format? What steps can I take to avoid plagiarism in my papers? Can you answer these? For your last activity, another student comes up to you and asks you the question you see on screen. Can you answer it? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. I'll see you in class.
Created using Powtoon.